The 1971 United States $1 coin is officially known as the Eisenhower dollar, commonly called the Ike dollar, and it holds an important place in American monetary and commemorative history because it was the first U.S. dollar coin issued since the Peace Dollar series ended in 1935 and the first to honor a president who was also a military hero. Issued by the United States Mint beginning in 1971, the coin commemorates Dwight D. Eisenhower, the 34th President of the United States and Supreme Commander of Allied forces in Europe during World War II. On the obverse, front, of the coin appears a bold left-facing portrait of Eisenhower, designed by chief engraver Frank Gasparo, with the word Liberty arching across the top, the national motto "In God We Trust" placed to the left of Eisenhower's neck, and the date 1971 inscribed below the portrait. The phrase "United States of America" encircles the rim. The reverse, back, design is equally symbolic and historically rich, depicting a bald eagle landing on the moon, clutching an olive branch, inspired directly by the Apollo 11 mission insignia, thus linking Eisenhower's leadership legacy to America's achievements in space exploration. Above the eagle are 13 stars representing the original colonies, while the inscription E Pluribus Unum appears above the eagle and $1 is boldly struck at the bottom. The 1971 Eisenhower dollar was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D mint mark; and San Francisco, S mint mark. Philadelphia and Denver coins were struck for general circulation and composed of a copper-nickel-clad alloy, while San Francisco produced special collector versions, some struck in 40% silver specifically for collectors and not intended for everyday use. The coin measures 38.1 millimeters in diameter, making it one of the largest U.S. coins ever produced, and weighs 22.68 grams for the clad version and 24.59 grams for the silver version. Despite its impressive size and patriotic symbolism, the Eisenhower dollar was never widely popular in circulation, largely because it was bulky and inconvenient compared to paper currency, leading many Americans to store or ignore it rather than use it in daily transactions. Historically, the 1971 issue is especially significant because it marks the return of the dollar coin after a 36-year hiatus, reflects Cold War-era pride in space exploration, and represents a transitional period in U.S. coinage when precious metals were being phased out of everyday currency. In terms of collectability, most 1971 Eisenhower dollars are not rare, but condition, mint mark, proof status, and silver content can greatly affect value. Uncirculated and proof coins, particularly silver issues from San Francisco, are more desirable to collectors, while circulated clad examples usually carry modest value above face value. Overall, the 1971 Eisenhower dollar stands as a powerful symbol of American leadership, technological achievement, and changing monetary policy, combining presidential commemoration, lunar exploration imagery, and national mottos, Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and E Pluribus Unum, into one of the most iconic large-format coins in U.S. history. Next top. The United States of America $1 coin dated 1972 with the D mint mark is part of the Eisenhower dollar series, a large-format U.S. coin issued from 1971 through 1978 and commonly known as the Ike dollar, honoring Dwight David Eisenhower, the 34th President of the United States and Supreme Commander of Allied forces during World War II. And the 1972 D issue specifically was struck at the Denver Mint, indicated by the small letter D located on the obverse below Eisenhower's neck. This coin represents a continuation of America's effort to reintroduce the dollar coin into everyday circulation after the discontinuation of the peace dollar in 1935, and it reflects a transitional era in U.S. monetary history when the nation was shifting away from precious metal coinage toward modern clad compositions. The obverse, front, of the 1972 D Eisenhower dollar features a strong left-facing portrait of President Eisenhower designed by chief engraver Frank Gasparo, with the word Liberty boldly inscribed along the upper rim, symbolizing freedom and democratic ideals, while the national motto "In God We Trust" appears to the left of the portrait, reaffirming the spiritual and moral foundation officially adopted by the United States during the Cold War period, and the date 1972 is positioned below the bust, grounding the coin in its historical moment. Surrounding the design is the inscription "United States of America," emphasizing national identity and sovereignty. The reverse, back, of the coin is one of the most symbolic designs in U.S. numismatic history, depicting a bald eagle descending onto the surface of the moon while clutching an olive branch, a powerful image adapted from the official Apollo 11 mission insignia, representing America's technological triumph in space exploration and its desire for peace rather than conquest. Above the eagle are 13 stars, representing the original 13 colonies, and above them is the Latin motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one, which expresses the unity of diverse states forming a single nation, while the denomination $1 is prominently placed at the bottom of the reverse. The 1972 D. Eisenhower dollar was struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition, consisting of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core, weighing 22.68 grams and measuring 38.1 millimeters in diameter, making it one of the largest circulating U.S. coins ever produced, a feature that contributed to its lack of popularity in everyday use due to its bulk and weight compared to paper currency. Unlike the San Francisco Mint issues, the Denver Mint did not produce any silver versions of the $1,972. All 1972 D coins are non-silver business strikes intended for circulation, and millions were produced, meaning the coin is generally common today, though condition plays a major role in value. One of the most important aspects of the 1972 Eisenhower dollar series is the existence of three distinct reverse design varieties, Type 1, Type 2, and Type 3, which differ in the depiction of the Earth visible above the eagle. These varieties are most often associated with Philadelphia minted coins, but Denver minted examples are closely studied by collectors for strike quality and detail, and high-grade uncirculated specimens with strong luster and minimal contact marks are significantly more desirable. Historically, the 1972 D. Eisenhower dollar reflects a time when the U.S. government hoped the public would adopt large dollar coins for commerce, transit systems, and casinos, yet despite heavy production, the coin saw limited circulation and was frequently stored or used primarily in Western casinos, especially in Nevada. From a cultural and symbolic standpoint, the coin combines presidential honor, military leadership, space exploration, national unity, and religious acknowledgement into a single object, embodying Cold War optimism, post-Apollo pride, and American global influence during the early 1970s. Today, the 1972 D. Eisenhower dollar remains a popular collectible for both beginners and advanced numismatists, valued not for rarity and circulated condition but for its historical significance, bold design, and role as a bridge between traditional silver coinage and modern U.S. currency, making it an enduring artifact of American history that unites the ideals of liberty, faith, unity, peace, and progress under the inscriptions Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and E Pluribus Unum on one of the most iconic dollar coins ever issued by the United States Mint. Next top. The United States of America $1 coin dated 1977 with the D Mint mark is part of the final regular issue years of the Eisenhower dollar series, a large-sized U.S. coin minted from 1971 to 1978 and commonly known as the Ike dollar, created to honor Dwight David Eisenhower, the 34th President of the United States and Supreme Commander of Allied Forces during World War II, and the 1977 D issue was produced at the Denver Mint, indicated by the small D Mint mark on the obverse beneath Eisenhower's neck. This coin represents one of the last efforts by the United States government to keep a large dollar coin in circulation before transitioning towards smaller dollar coins in later decades. The obverse, front, of the 1977 D. Eisenhower dollar features a strong left-facing portrait of President Eisenhower designed by chief engraver Frank Gasparo, symbolizing leadership, military strength, and executive authority, with the word liberty boldly inscribed along the top rim to reflect the foundational principle of American democracy, while the national motto "In God We Trust" appears to the left of Eisenhower's profile, reinforcing the nation's officially recognized spiritual values. During the Cold War era, and the date 1977 is placed below the portrait, anchoring the coin firmly in its historical period, the inscription United States of America surrounds the upper edge, clearly asserting national identity and sovereignty. The reverse, back, design continues the powerful and symbolic imagery introduced in 1971, depicting a bald eagle descending toward the surface of the moon while clutching an olive branch, a design inspired directly by the Apollo 11 mission insignia, representing the United States' extraordinary achievement in space exploration as well as its stated desire for peace rather than aggression. Above the eagle are 13 stars, symbolizing the original 13 colonies, and above them appears the Latin motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one, which expresses the unity of the individual states forming a single nation, while the denomination $1 is prominently engraved along the bottom of the coin. The 1977 D. Eisenhower dollar was struck exclusively in a copper-nickel-clad composition, consisting of outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core, weighing 22.68 grams and measuring 38.1 millimeters in diameter, making it one of the largest modern U.S. coins, a characteristic that contributed significantly to its limited acceptance in everyday commerce because it was heavy, bulky, and inconvenient compared to paper currency. By 1977, no silver versions of the Eisenhower dollar were being produced, as all silver collector issues had ended in 1976, meaning every 1977 D coin is non-silver and intended for circulation. Large quantities were minted at Denver, and while the coin was technically legal tender and used in some settings, particularly casinos in the western United States and certain vending or transit systems, it never gained widespread popularity among the general public, leading many examples to be stored rather than spent. From a historical perspective, the 1977 D. Eisenhower dollar reflects a period of transition in American coinage and monetary policy, as inflation, changing public habits, and rising production costs pushed the U.S. Mint to reconsider the practicality of large dollar coins, ultimately leading to the end of the Eisenhower series in 1978 and its replacement by the smaller Susan B. Anthony dollar in 1979. In terms of collectability, the 1977 D. Eisenhower dollar is generally common in circulated condition, with most examples valued modestly above face value, but uncirculated coins with strong luster, sharp details, and minimal contact marks are more desirable to collectors, especially those assembling complete Eisenhower dollar date and mint sets. Symbolically, the coin unites multiple layers of American identity, presidential leadership, military victory, technological achievement, faith, unity, and peace, into a single object, making the 1977 D. Eisenhower dollar an enduring artifact of late 20th century U.S. history that proudly bears the inscriptions Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and E Pluribus Unum, reflecting the ideals the nation sought to project at home and abroad during the final years of the Eisenhower dollar era.